What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 26 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Elspeth von Draken Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Deconstructor Zentler applied his deconstructing prowess to a couple of black arcs, both of which, well, I guess one of which was sunk and the other backed off here to where we couldn't reach it. Assuming, of course, that Admiral Leech was one of those two. I didn't remember which of the lords were leading. Either way, though, it's a significant loss of forces for Nagaroc, and they're starting to look pretty darn weak, especially once Malekith's army and this stack is destroyed, and they're going to be very much the worse for wear. Some nice stuff here, but I don't think that it'll stand up to the ministrations of Land Admiral Zentler. Also, something I noticed between the episodes, at last, the northern provinces have acquired the ability to build sky junks. We need to try to figure out how to get them on the field to replace these two mortars. It's not necessary, I mean, none of this army is necessary, but it's fun, and that's why we're gonna keep doing it. I want those air units supporting the Mad Max army. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time, we do have the Valkia fight, presuming, of course, that she is actually willing to fight us, then hopefully she will be. And then we have down here, have to move towards whatever is going on. We still don't know where exactly Kugath is, but we know he and probably 2 to 3 other stacks are alive somewhere here, just by virtue of the balance of power looking fairly decent compared to ours being number 1, and he's strength rank 7, surprisingly. Kugath could certainly have some stuff in there. We may even want to send Helmet 4 back directly to Dragonfang Mount rather than bothering with Bitter Bay. I mean, it's poorly defended, and I would imagine that Imric should, in theory, be able to take it, especially now that we have significantly reduced the strength of the Legion of Asgore. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to it. Let's start from the beginning. Elspeth does not need to move. We're going to sit out here in the sea and hope that Lokirfelheart's 2 armies will attack us together. Zentler, I guess you're up. Alright, well, I guess then... Wait, can we reach you? No, just out of range. Alright, I guess we're gonna head to Nagaroc. Let's see if these guys are willing to fight. I would imagine they should be. We got Shades, we got Bloodwreck, Medusa, Warhydra, Malekith himself, but then we got the Garrison as well. So we got Blackguard, more Shades, Cold One Knights, Executioners, etc. And they still have Black Arc support. Yeah, really would have been nice to sink this thing, but what can you do? Land Admiral Zentler will overcome. Let's hit this little army first and see if it runs. If it does... okay, it doesn't. Alright, and Pyrrhic Victory, you say? I mean, sure, it's a lot of Dark Elves, and sure, they have a lot of... Ooh... They have the Lure of the Pale Queen ability. Oh, that's not good. Cannot move, forcing our vehicles to get bogged down. That actually could be pretty interesting. Alright, we'll have to be careful about that one. Let's see how we do. Go.
Follow my battle schematics, and victory shall be ours!
Alrighty, here we go. Well, there's no reason to doubt Land Admiral Zentler, because I suppose every time we have followed his battle schematics is a time that we were victorious. Anyway, we're gonna start the battle up by searching for this Supreme Sorceress of Shadows, who appears to be hidden from us, possibly due to the trees or possibly due to the hills, I'm not sure, since she doesn't have stock. But eventually, we should come upon her, and there we go. And then gun her down with reasonable ease. It's not like the spells available to her, Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma or Enfeebling Foe, are going to be particularly threatening to our war wagons here. And down goes the Lord. There we go. Then, it looks like a little bit of Black Arc support going to attempt to hit our war wagons here, but we can simply dodge that. We're also moving into position with the rest of our units. Our land ship's looking like a train moving together like that. And just as they stop, the AI targets them with that Kane's Lash or Kane's Cauldron or whatever. Good job to the AI, I guess, for not doing that while we were moving. I'm still really digging the Thunder Barges with the Nuln color scheme. It's working for me. It really is. Anyway, looks like Malekith is on field at last, and we're going to start annoying him with the war wagons that will full volley barely does anything to him. Huh, unsurprising. And yeah, what, a full volley takes like 150 HP from him? What the heck kind of resistance? Oh, wow. Okay, so he has 50% physical resistance on top of 35% missile resistance. So he has nearly max range resistances, effectively. Just not magical resistances, but this army doesn't have much in the way of magical resistances in the first place. Well, let's see how long it takes us to bring him down. All the war wagons and all of our tanks and land ships are going to be targeting Malekith at the same time to try to knock him out of the sky. He's lost about 25% of his HP now. A harpoon, well, it looks like it sailed on by and misses him, but the second harpoon did appear to strike him. He's down to nearly half HP now and still taking shots from our entire army. Slowed down as well by our mortars, switched the fire to him, so that disoriented and dazed slows him down to 40 speed. It's still not the slowest, but it's only slightly faster than infantry speed, and will allow us to do even more damage. Keep on firing, damn. That's a lot of resistances, but finally the cannons and, well, everything else take their toll, and Malekith will be brought down. And there we go. Very, very close, though. And with that, we are able to move forward and start moving towards the pile of enemies who have moved on to the field. They're sort of moving towards us, or at least trying to, but also kind of milling around. And this is a bad idea when this is moving towards you. That's gotta be a pretty scary sight, and especially with all the cannons and everything firing at you at the same time. Anyway, let's charge in the land ships and the tanks, see what they do or how they do, and against all these piles of enemies. Would be nice to have the Mortis engine effect from the Amethyst land ships, but we'll be fine, I'm sure. There we go, full power now activates as we charge right through the big blob of enemies. That Bloodrat Cauldron does not have the mass to hold the land ships back, and the land ships, as soon as they get deep into the mass of enemy troops, will activate their landmines, and of course the steam tanks will follow up and drop their steam expulsion as well. That should be pretty darn effective. And there they go, there's the landmines, followed by the steam expulsion as well. There we go. Oh, I feel bad. And on top of all that, right after, oh man, my PC is barely handling this. Keep dropping frames and getting all screwy, but all good, all good. It looks like with the land ships being followed, or the land ships and tanks being followed by the thunder barges, the enemy infantry will get gunned down, and the balance of power will shift rapidly to about, say, 90% in our favor. The enemy does still have a few single entities in there, and a few units that are still willing to fight, but I'm willing to bet it won't be for much longer. Now our airships rather did take a little bit of damage, so we popped a regrowth and Earthblood on them both, as they had to activate their Thunderburner to even remotely keep up with our land ships. And it looks like with that, the enemy army will simply shatter. Certainly not a particularly long battle. The enemy's essentially entire army got crushed with a single charge, plus the bombs dropping overhead as well. But I would say it was pretty darn entertaining, so I am quite happy with the result. Now, we are going to do our best to destroy all the remaining enemies, like these Bloodwrack Shrines and whatnot. Really anything that can stand against us in a follow-up auto-resolve, but with this, I do believe Nagaroc itself will fall. And I guess we'll take the headquarters of Nagaroc Dink for ourselves as well, which is nice. This is what synergy is all about, people. Company merger. Anyway. Alright, Alright, there we go. Once again, I do feel bad about that because, well, the AI went pretty dumb, pretty extra dumb there for a minute as it blobbed up. But seeing the glorious charge of our land ships, that's not going to get old anytime soon, if ever. I'm hardly tired of watching Chaos Dwarf trains and Iron Demons and whatnot do their work, so I don't imagine I'll grow tired of these new mechanical beasties either. Anyway, Malekith's army is destroyed, though Malekith once again very impressive, taking shots from basically our entire army and almost managing to actually close the distance just a little bit further. But yeah, his resistances are huge, but it does once again point out the minor issue that we have in this army, and that it doesn't have magical damage, and we should probably, I mean, once again, it's not what I would call necessary, but probably replace a couple of the regular land ships with amethyst land ships just to get additional magical damage capabilities, just to round out what we're missing. What we should also do is defeated Malekith. Passive ability Frenzy. Okay. We've had cannibal tanks and now we have frenzied tanks. Makes sense. Alright, do we have a spare Lichbone pennant, is what I'm wondering. Yes, we do. This is currently our only army with... Okay, take out the Scarecrow banner. Actually, this actually is a decent army to have a Scarecrow banner, now that I think about it. Huh. Alright, lose the Tradesman, we'll give it to somebody else. Take the Lichbone pennant, and take the Scarecrow banner. Especially once we have those Sky Junks, we may want to put those on the Thunder Barges. Yeah, the Lichbone pennant obviously has to go on Thunder Barge. Now... what was I gonna do? Oh, I was gonna give the tradesman to somebody. Oh, who does not have it? Who has a spare space? Wait, one of the new guys should. Although, I guess one of the issues with one of the new guys is you're probably gonna get replaced by somebody with Hawkland scopes. No, whatever. For now. Oh, we have 2 spare tradesmen. Damn, okay, that's not enough. Do you have a tradesman? You do? Okay, fine. We're gonna have to actually look through them. You don't have a trades. Oh, that's Land Admiral Zintler, who just lost his tradesman. I'm inclined to keep the Outrider in this army simply because it's providing us a decent amount of value right now. You know what? Take the tradesman back. Lose the pit fighter. I don't see any other way. Yeah, let's do something like that. Oh, Geltz doesn't have a tradesman. I don't see him here. Alright, we'll give the next tradesman we get to Gelt then. That'll make sense. Alright. That looks good. Let's see who's up next, shall we? Zintler. Oh, wait, Zintler, you technically do still have to move in taking Nagaroc. Now, will these armies go after you after this? I don't know. I guess it depends on how much damage we take auto-resolving this. Go for Thunder Barge and then go for Thunder Barge auto-resolve. No damage. And... like, it's very tempting to sack it, but it's a tier 4 occupation, which isn't too bad, and it already has a gunsmith and a wizard's campus here. I think we'll keep it. Even despite the fact that... oh, damn, it doesn't have the public order building, though. Which is going to be a problem in the uninhabitable terrain. Might have to lose... I mean, I guess if we have to pick between one, it's probably the Wizard's Campus that we'll want to lose, mostly because the gunsmiths still provide us a research rate, and we still need research rate, at least until these are down to 1 turn, and they're still not. So it looks like it's either 600 or 800 research rate that we need. I don't remember whether it's 600 or 800 to get them down to 1, but I guess we'll find out. Pfeiffer, you are... probably up next. Do we want to maybe move some of our armies around before we get you there? Gentleman Jenkins, I wanted to continue chasing you around with Andreas Meyer's army. But if you keep moving further away, you'll go here. There's no islands in here, is there? I'm probably better off going towards more difficult fights like Morathi, so I think... oh, I'm gonna suffer attrition here. Alright, fine, do the shipwreck. We might have to land in Lothern just to heal up a little bit after all this, and oh! Galleon's graveyard is owned by Hexawaddle, oh my. Poor Noctilus, wasn't expecting that. And we'll take the extra schematics rather than heal, I think. We still need piles of schematics. It would be really unfortunate to not have everything maxed out before the end of the campaign, I imagine. You can go into March Stance. Stay away from Jenkins, at the very least in March Stance, or his own full speed stance. Oh. Well, he can't engage combat in full speed stance anyway, so yeah. And probably land Val's Anvil. Alright, looks good to me. Who's up next? Ignoring Pfeiffer for now. Feuerbach. Yeah, ignore Bitter Bay. We're gonna head you directly to Dragonfang Mount. I feel like it's the better way to do it. The Demigryph Knights are hurt here, but not so hurt that we, I think, should be all that concerned. Let's hope that there isn't like a super stack or several super stacks here. Nope, it looks empty. And we do want to occupy that Sea Dragon's Teeth Great Landing thing. Another port. Not quite the port that we were looking for, perhaps, but 60 gemstones is quite nice. Alright, I really am curious to see what Kugath has up his sleeve to warrant being the 7th strongest faction on the map. Boris von Sighofen, can you take Pig Barter? Assuming that we don't keep it, and I'm inclined to say we shouldn't, although it does kind of command the territory here, so if anybody wants to cross out of the Darkland... Nah, but then again... And then again, let's see, how much does this give us? I mean, this building alone will generate about 450 gold. I'm just wondering whether we sack it or not. No, maybe just occupied, regular occupied for now. I'll think about it. Maybe we'll trade it, maybe we won't. I always hesitate to let a landmark go, even if it's not the most useful landmark to us. So just occupy it for now. And... oh! Huh, we're actually able to... Huh, well, interesting. It goes up to tier 5, unlike the Mountains of Morn territories, which don't. Huh. Okay, I guess it was just because of the outpost that it was unable to rise to a higher level. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that, but then we have both this building and spices out of this. I wish it was a higher level. Well, I'll think about it. I mean, once again, we have plenty of territory to be getting on with. It's not necessary, it's just that landmark. A lizard brain. Anyway, Venom Glade, Emperor Girlfriends should easily be able to take that, and then on to Clark Carond, which we do actually want to keep, and occupy the place. I mean, we could hold on to this territory. Don't collect income, don't collect income. We could hold on to this territory just because it's part of Clark Carond, but obviously we wouldn't be holding on to too much here. And there's also the unfortunate aspect of the fact that we then, if we were to keep all of this, we wouldn't be able to give all of this stuff to Yvresse unless they land down here at Val's Anvil or Hag Hall. And the other elves are, well, once again, very busy out here, but still having something of a difficult time landing on the bleak coast. Go figure. Alright, well, let's keep going. And you know what, I've lost my place, and therefore we're gonna attack Valkia. It's a good enough reason as any. What are we missing in this army? I believe we have all of the... When did you get Mighty Forge? Oh, the 2 Morr wagons. The Mortars and the Morr wagons. I mean, I guess we could keep buffing them up. We have Always Ready and Gunsight for you as well, so you're not going to get all of that much stronger on a personal level. I would actually like to get Reassuring Presence for you as well. But even after Mighty Forge, we might still have the capability of doing so. Well, in fact, let's find out. Assuming that we get 1 point in Mighty Forge, we'll be up to 44 to max it out. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Gotta get hard to hit. But then we'd be missing out on Scarred Vet when we skip this. I don't actually really need Mighty Forge, but I still feel like even with only 2 war wagons, that they deserve a little bit of help. Maybe we save 1 point. Anyway, the rest of you, I mean, we could use your points, but don't care enough. You, however, Ulrika, Occam's Mind Razor, Pit of Shades, Venerable Pendulum, none of these are maxed out now. We also got to remember she's a very strong fighter, or at the very least she has a lot of buffs to her fighting capabilities, which we don't have any points in as yet either. Get Occam's Mind Razor for now. We might forego completely maxing out her magic, but we'll see. Andreas Ludenhauer, our engineer, has everything that's reasonably good, so max out Gunsight. And we'll just ignore Gotrek and Felix, because they're effectively maxed out as well. Ooh, then again, if they have to fight Valkia herself, Valkia's pretty nasty, so let's max you out as well then. I lied. Woundmaker, Relentless, Gotrek, a little bit of speed or a little bit of charge bonus? Let's start with a charge bonus. You know, he'll get there when he needs to. And then Moonmaker for Felix as well. All that talking for an extra 5 seconds. All right, go.
Follow your orders.
All right, and some of our knights are still damaged, but she will not run. All right, Valkia, I appreciate that. I really do. Got to watch out for the Blade of Corn ability, but well, they won't have it up and running immediately, and they're probably going to have a tough time getting to it. Away we go.
Follow my battle schematics, and victory shall be ours.
Hey, the other army was talking about battle schematics as well. Everybody likes those schematics, maybe less talking about them and actually more acquiring them for us, as we'll need plenty more. Anyway, we're gonna start the battle off, Vanguard deployed as we usually do with our Outriders. Gonna try to gun down those doggos, or grenade down those doggos, and before they can give chase. The Chaos Knights will be second on the menu after the doggos are done, but the Chaos Knights with 70 movement speed are reasonably slow, although actually 70 is faster than I remembered them being. I thought they were around 60 or 65 or something like that. Huh. I wonder if this is a buff from Valkia. Their speed doesn't appear to be buffed in any way. I wonder if there's a difference in vanilla and in SFO on them. But anyway, still reasonably fast, but not fast enough to catch the 105 speed Outrider. So those guys are in trouble. And we've also Vanguard deployed, or at least deployed forward, Ulrika, who just like she annoyed Bellacourt to death by continually sniping him from the sky and popping those Melkoths, mystifying miasmas. She's going to repeat the same thing with Valkia. Now, Valkia is pretty fast at 76 move speed, but between Melkoths and various gunfire, or between that and gunfire debuffs, she should be able to be slowed down quite a bit. Anyway, looks like the Chaos Knights have moved in, but we moved to meet it in battle with the Ebony Thorns and Callista's honor guard here, and they quickly surround those Chaos Knights. Chaos Knights looking absolutely massive due to those Chaos steroids, but I just don't think that's going to be enough. The enemy's getting a little bit of support from a pile of Marauder horses here, but not to worry, we should be able to gun them down or grenade them down in the same way that we're doing the enemy bloodletters here. Valkia's down to about half HP, and now it looks like some of our guns are firing upon her. Gotrek and Felix are waiting for her to touch down, but it looks like she might be able to be knocked out of the sky before she gets to us. The Chaos Knights have been pretty much destroyed by our units of cav here, though, ooh, we gotta be careful with that. Okay, that's not good. Got a few of those grenades hitting our own units, but the passive should keep them alive. Over on the leftmost flank, it looks like Doggos, Fleshhounds, and Chaos Knights are trying to do the same thing, but once again, they face the Swords of Midnight and the Scythes of Morr, and these guys should be more than a match for them, and especially with the buffs that they have. And with their numbers, once the Doggos are out, the Chaos Knights are unlikely to stay in combat against two of these units. And let's see the speed comparison. 86 on our units, meaning the enemy will be booking it out of there, but will also be chased down. And there we go, just like that, the battle ends. Valkia's main line unable to reach us. The Bloodletters, particularly vulnerable to those magical grenades, all got absolutely obliterated by them. The giant falls at last, gunned down by a combination of cannon and gunfire, and the rest of the enemy units will either be chased down, or grenaded down, or gunned down as they run. But I'm sure that Khorne would actually approve of that, because how dare they run rather than fight. Alright, not too bad, not too bad. We took a few volleys of, let's say, questionable necessity into our own units of Knights of the Black Rose. However, it didn't matter, as obviously that Grim Resolve really helps out. And them not dying until they reach 50% HP means even the occasional devastating damage from our own Outriders is survivable. Otherwise, we did very well. Poor Valkia was knocked out of the sky before she could accomplish too much, and Ulrika did help out with popping those Melkoth's mystifying miasmas on her before she could land, and then was gunned down promptly. I guess we're going to heal up because we'll have to auto-resolve. I think not to this turn. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have done that, or at the very least, wait. Actually, no, I should have done that. Beautiful. We can reach Ashrak. There's a few defenders there, but nothing relevant. Though I think we won't be able to reach Ashrak this turn anyway, so we'll pardon the captives this time. And yeah, just a little bit short, but what can you do? Channel a little bit for us then. Defeated Valkia, melee attack and armor piercing increase, because yeah, now our tank is, wait, was it this tank that's frenzied? No, it's this tank that's frenzied. Well, this tank now hits harder. Works for me. Outrider's Servant, another Lichbone Pennant. Yes, they are, or should be just as good as on regular land ships as they are on the Thunder Barges. There's also the possibility of putting it on the Wonder of the Age rather than on the Thunder Barges, though I've personally found it to be very, very effective on the barges. But anyway, well done once again. Who's next? Balthy. Balthy. Chasing around those darn ogres, and once again we have no idea where they went. Okay, well we have to make a guess. Either they're at the Maw Gate. I think we can see that the Maw Gate is empty. I can't quite tell. It looks like it's in shadow, but maybe not quite. Alright, I'm gonna assume that they're not there. And on a balance of probabilities, they more than likely went down here. I'm not sure they actually could have went like this. No, they could have run past... Okay, I'm gonna... Let's see. Please be there. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, they are. Wait. Yeah, this is the army. I was like, wait, is this a different army? Oh, I'm getting sick and tired of these. Alright, you know what? It's gonna cost us a lot. We're gonna get a temporary lord up here just to make sure that these jerkwads die. Let's go for... I don't know, one of these guys. You're tough. Do you? And you have points in Leader of Renown. And you have some of this stuff as well. Nice. Good for you. We should probably get some temp units. These guys are mustering. I don't know from what. They're not in range of a camp, so how are they recruiting? Unless there's a camp here that these guys haven't destroyed. Oh, they're not at war with each other. It's a distinct possibility. Well, either way, we don't know what they're gonna muster, and I don't want Kirakrakatan to get sacked, which it will, because it basically has no units, meaning you're going to... Wait, can they reach it in one turn? We might have to assume that they can. You know what? Get the Silver Bullets, get the Sigmar's Sons, just random stuff. And get 2 Emperor's Rats. You know what? We'll give those to Gelt. We'll give those to Gelt. I was gonna give him a couple of steam tanks anyway, and it doesn't really matter what kind of steam tanks they are. I know I keep building the Emperor's Rats, but it's just faster, okay? It's just faster to build them than to recruit other types of steam tanks, especially since they're not so different from each other. I mean, yeah, the ones have Hellblasters, but these ones we don't have to ferry for like 50 turns, troops recruited elsewhere. It's just easier. More convenient to get his army the stuff that he wants. Anyway, you sir, you are moving to Wily Village, and it looks like you can't reach it this turn, but what you can do is start channeling, because you need it. You don't have a mage, though, and even though you're an auto-resolve army, we probably want to give you one. What kind of mage do you want? I mean, it doesn't really matter since it's an auto-resolve army, but nonetheless, let's give you another light mage. Oh. Anything I like in terms of the traits? Honestly, I'm not a super big fan of any of these traits. The Amethyst Wizard wouldn't help slow anything down as they move towards the line. I'm still inclined to say Light Mage is the way to go here. Let's do Light Mage. Don't really care about the traits. Alright, did you get Barded Warhorse rather than Pegasus? What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't do that. Pegasus. Alright. That army will most likely never be used. It's just that, well, it's necessary, as Elspeth can't take everything here. At the very least, she's too busy to do so. You're just making us money, so... Money. There we go. I was just too lazy to think of anything else. Surgov, yeah, you're supposed to join this army. Oh, actually, no, you're supposed to join another army. But we will need more engineers in this army as well, because I'm very curious to see how far we can push the Hawkland long rifles. Can we essentially make them into artillery, or even further firing than artillery, is what I'm curious about. Anyway, Ivory Road, you... you know what, let's heal it, it's fine. We have the money. And do this. So you have the gold, you have the money, and... we're probably gonna need public order here. It's pretty low right now. Granted, a lot of it is probably because of provincial instability, but go for it. It's a pretty darn rich province, though. Gold and tusks and spices on top of that. Should be making decent amounts of cash. Are you actually able to build roads? No, you're not able to build roads in these types of territories. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. Ivory Road is good. Nobler country. What's the likelihood anything attacks here? Pretty low now. I think we can get rid of the rally field and... I keep the tap room. Alright, what's up next? Iron Foothills. As you guys can see, we're basically done with the admin effectively at this point. Let's start building up Nagaroc as well. It's gonna take so many turns to build anything here that we may as well just start. And Dagrax End will be traded away to our Kislevite allies, so we can ignore it. And Glacial Gardens is the same way, and in fact we could trade it right now if I wasn't too lazy to do so. We can do so next turn. Fort Bergbray, you're fine. Valley of Horns, yes to the Clothier. Just gonna hope that you don't get taken, and that's it for the admin. Or at the very least, the building admin. Now, Imperial Gunnery School. First of all, we need to acquire... Or I still think we're going to try the Amethyst Hellstorm thing. Oh, you know what? Let's do the upgrades because Elspeth will use hers shortly. And I'd like to see how effective it is. Maxed out. We still want to max everything out, both of them, but we won't have too... Oh man, 3.2k. We won't have too many more opportunities to use these things, so... let's do that. And there go all of our schematics. We're on turn 96, and we still haven't been able to max this out. Maybe they wanted to design this in such a way that it's unlikely that you max this out, but you know, it bothers the completionist in me, which usually doesn't come to the fore because I don't really care about that sort of thing. Like, I'm not an achievement hunter by any means or anything of that nature. And there's Kugath. Tamarkan wants peace. Just as Kugath is getting active. And Kugath is gonna go nowhere. Greasus Goldtooth has arrived. Or revived, that's the word. And, they will actually attack Elspeth. Fantastic. That's what I like to see, Lokia, that's what I like to see. We're definitely fighting, yeah. Go.
The enemy feels themselves indestructible. None will disabuse them of this falsehood.
Alrighty, here we go. I'm excited to see, well, I guess I am excited to see whether this battle works due to the desync thing, but once again, we, by and large, have been able to bypass it at least a few times now, and I'm very excited to see how well our purple Sunmaker does with the buffs that we've added to it. Should be quite a bit more powerful. Also, I didn't realize it when fighting the battle, but Lokir has stock, which means he was able to get very, very close to us on his Black Dragon, and while he was able to do so, I don't think he's going to survive getting this close to us. At least it's going to be pretty ugly. We're going to pop a Spirit Leech on him, and then as soon as he appears, all the guns that we have will focus him instead. He's going to start losing HP very, very rapidly, and unlike Malekith, he doesn't appear to have anywhere near the kind of resistances that let Malekith take like 1,000 cannonballs to the face before dropping out of the sky. Anyway, looks like some shades are moving towards us, but we can see them because of the the probably spotting of Elspeth here. And it looks like most of our guns are attempting to focus these guys down. In particular, little mini purple suns being reasonably effective here, and the enemy shades will run while the rest of the enemy army continues taking rockets from our 3 rocket batteries. Alright, well, the first army was never likely to close with us, but it's the second army, and that's gonna move in, and it does have some shades in there as well, and that has a chance, especially while we are still focusing on this one, and depending on how they actually move in. Ooh, that was a magical cannonball firing from our land ship, wasn't it? Actually, looks pretty nice. Now, let's see if we can catch the next one coming in. I saw it fire, but I can't see where oh, there it is. There's the magical cannonball. Oh, it's a nice effect. That's a nice effect indeed, since we don't have a lot of the amethyst landships. Haven't managed to see that one too much. Anyway, we will continue firing upon the enemy blobs, though it looks like the enemy has finally begun to fire back with its own erstwhile artillery, the form of the Black Arc support, as all 3 of the abilities come down on our artillery pieces, who are too slow to avoid them. And a little bit of damage there. I believe 1 or 2 artillery pieces were destroyed with that first volley, but we continue to fire upon the enemy army. In the meantime, the reinforcements have arrived, a full stack all the way out there, so we will move Elspeth to meet it, and though it looks like the enemy will have wasted its murderous prowess. I mean, wasted in the sense that, I mean, they don't have a control when it activates, but wasted in the sense that they won't be able to use it for the rest of the battle. Inadvertently or not. Anyway, it looks like the first of the enemy armies is just about done. If we can get a nice volley of rockets in here, that would be just wonderful. Obviously, since we're not really controlling our army, I can't control where the artillery fires, and all I can do is hope that they fire in the right direction. Elspeth moves in to deal with at least some of the enemies moving up, and since they've decided the reinforcements all in a blob to move up this hill, Elspeth will certainly take advantage of that by activating her ring of fiery something. I don't remember what the actual item is called. The burning head ability. The ring that confers the burning head. Which doesn't sound like a great thing, but anyway. Elspeth continues to move in, getting that laser breath, not on a lord, just in the middle of the enemy formation. I think this actually worked better when I used it in the non-replay, and it actually moved through the enemy line, but that's alright. Not a big deal, I would think. Either way, we're going to follow that up with another purple sun of Zoraeus here, right in the, well, it should be in the middle of this, but if it moves a little bit more this way, it'll actually hit a fair few of the enemy, even in the replay. Very nice, and that is going to be a very, very bloody swath of destruction through the enemy army. Alright. Well, the reinforcements are in pretty darn bad shape, not all destroyed, however, and maybe about half of their forces remaining after Elspeth dealt with them. It does look like the first army is still fighting as well, and a few of the enemy units are still attempting to close the distance, but the problem with that is the closer they get to our army, the more dangerous it is, as other units like the Amethyst Ironsides are actually able to start firing. I don't think anybody but Lokir has actually reached the Ironsides, and these poor little lines of spears will be the first to do so, though they won't do so for very long. You're supposed to fire on cue. Come on now. And, oh, we're repositioning. Damn, I picked the worst time to reposition. I decided to reposition the army in order to deal with the reinforcements slightly, but it'll mean that the Amethyst Ironsides will continue firing in a second. Alright, and some of the Amethyst Ironsides from the Amethyst Landships firing upon the enemy, and those Dread Spears are booking it on out of there. And there we go. Another Purple Son of Zoraeus comes in from Elspeth, and it does look like the enemy army has essentially split into 2, and I mean the second, the reinforcing enemy army, has split into 2, but the enemy armies are far, far too infantry heavy to deal with our type of army composition with all of the rocket batteries. We may not be using them in other armies like a normal Imperial faction or Imperial factions normally might, but we have them in droves here, and it's certainly enough to deal with these piles of infantry. Can't forget how obnoxiously strong the rocket batteries are against the AI. Man, I was never intending to have the Hellblaster volley guns in this army, but they're kind of working in this as well. They do provide the suppression effect as well, which is quite nice. And it's not like most of the enemy armies are actually able to get to us. Ooh, guys, let's not... Okay. I think that's the replay doing that, though. I don't think that actually happened when I was playing it, or at least not that I recall. And with that, anyway, the battle will end. We will run down the enemy as best we can, the land ships working together with those outriders to chase after our foes, and we should be able to get most of them destroyed and the rest of the nearby forces pretty much destroyed, and probably even land and auto-resolve the remaining units. Or the nearby settlement, Bamboo Crossing. Alright, just want to see a few more shots of the... okay, never mind. There we go. Alright, good enough. Good enough, Elspeth, and the cinematics still worked, so I'm quite happy with that, and that tells me great things for Gelt's future, as I'm gonna try putting 3 Amethyst rocket batteries into his army, and see how it works with all those little mini purple suns all over an enemy army. Alright, well, the battle worked out pretty darn well for us. Elspeth racking up crazy 1,100 and 100,000 1,100 kills and 100,000 damage, though our artillery were no slouches. The Sunmaker beating the regular purple Sunmaker despite the new additions to its strength. But the Sunmaker has always been an extremely powerful artillery piece, so it's hardly surprising. And their value is gold, or damage delta's gold value, is very close either way. Anyway, hopefully that also worked cinematic-wise, but, well, either way, we've had plenty of battles this episode. We're gonna heal up to max, and poor Loke here is kicked to the curb once more. Soon he will have to return to his main provinces, which I'm sure is gonna be an issue for him. Valkia, you want peace? No. I remain of the opinion that shouldn't even be physically possible for you. Let's see. Recruitment cost... Instructor, another Steel Standard, won't say no to that. Kislavite Kossar, rather. On a Engineer, no, that should be on Lords, not on Engineers. Mechanical Steed, ally begins outpost construction. Technology Research, Aura of Protection upgraded just on time, or right on time, as we completed the 4 Luminarchs in this particular army. Also, who are you again? Disciplined. Did I summon you for another army, not this one? Okay, wait. Oh, no, you're gonna go into Gelt's army. Okay, yeah. I was just trying to remember. You go there, and the Luminarchs will go there as well. Want to test to see if those Auras of Protection do in fact stack, so we're gonna have to find out. Gelty, you're going to quickly knock out this little army here. With an auto-resolve, or this camp, I guess. And, ooh, I should have probably... Okay, just give me a second. I should have probably checked... Hey, seasoned campaigner, nice. Should have probably checked whether we have missions. Illyrian wants us to go after a Cult of Pleasure? Yeah, sure. And Arguelon we already maxed out with. But nonetheless, take one of these guys, doesn't really matter who. Alright, looks good to me. Kugath, what do you have in your army? It's interesting that he moved here in March stance, considering that we're about to land a Dragonfang mount, but I guess that's his problem. You, sir, land the Dragonfang mount then. And take it, that's a pretty big chunk of change that Kugath will be losing per turn due to this. Auto-resolve, hope that doesn't screw us over in any way. No, barely any damage. Alright, and occupy it. Lovely. This is definitely a cash cow province, and we'll build the medicines, herbs, whatever. Medicine production. Herb gatherers. Oh, it is both. It is both. Yes. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. And there's those stacks we were wondering about. Okay, that's actually way too much for this army to handle right now. You're gonna need help. You know what? Stay back here, I guess. They can't reach you, that's the thing. Stick around the Haunted Forest. I'm gonna assume that Kugath can't reach you from his position. You, Greasy, might try to go around to Shambletown or Knobbly Gorge, so we might want to react to that by sitting around and waiting for it. And then, Gelt. Let's try a little something. You're gonna go here to Karakrakatan, still stay in our own territory. Then we're going to move Emil to transfer some stuff. Namely, Gelt is not going to be using halberds or greatswords as part of his infantry line, so we'll trade those for the tanks, like so, and then just sit there channeling while Gelt is in ambush. Maybe we can get one or both of these armies to destroy themselves attempting to take this out while our Luminarchs are on the way. Granted, I really wanted, or would like to have seen the Luminarchs obliterate Mr. Kugath from a distance. But nonetheless. Alright, looks good to me. Who's up next? Elspeth, I guess you should be able to freely destroy the remnants here. Probably a bad idea to go after the remnants of the Black Ark? Wait, is this even a Black Ark? Or is this just a remnant of an army? I think the Admiral died. Supreme Sorceress of Death, yeah. Unless this is an Admiral. No. Okay, we'll destroy those. We're not gonna go after those. We're gonna land at Bamboo Crossing. Auto resolve. I should have checked that. Okay, no, we're fine. Didn't lose anything. Pardon the captives, then land at Bamboo Crossing. Even though it's a... wait. No, I guess you should go this way. Okay, we can't have you both going there. Alright, so land at Bamboo Crossing. What do you do? Oh, you're trying to go around? Okay, fine. Do it that way if you like. Doesn't this place have a port? Shouldn't you have landed immediately right there? Auto-resolve. And no damage. Occupy. Lovely. Don't care about the fireball or about, well, maybe the obsidian amulet or whatever that was. Looked like an obsidian amulet, but I didn't bother to check. Hey, you, sir. You have space for this guy? You do, but I'm not actually sure he can actually reach you. Alright, let's find out. Go here. Encircle. And are you able to enter this army? I guess I can't quite tell. We'll hurt the auto-resolve if we can't. Whatever. What do we need to lose here? We have plenty of cannons. The war wagons help with the slowing of the enemy down in combination of the other war wagons. Let's do 3, 3, and 3. That's fine. Like so. And then can you enter this army? I couldn't quite see. I don't see a little red arrow, so possibly. Hey, you can. Way too many heroes in this particular army, but whatever. Once again, as an auto-resolve army, it hardly matters. Let's get you Light Scholar and Battle Hardened in order to get Shining Resilience and that aura of protection. We want to max out the Net of Amantok to be able to slow the enemies down, and Foz Protection, as those are the two spells that we generally spam with Light Wizards. Occasional Banishment, but otherwise Magical Reserves are a thing into Arcane Conduit. Still get Mentor to power everybody up. Definitely get Mark of Hishan Sigmar's Ward as you hurt yourself via overcasting, and the enemy hurts you via focusing you down. 5 points remaining. I guess we can put him into Barona's Time Warp. I rarely use it, and in a range army it doesn't do anything because it only gives us melee attack, which I still find strange. Because freeing from the passage of time should speed up your reload or whatever, not just your melee capabilities. I'm just saying. And I will die on this hill. But anyway, Shem's Burning Gaze I don't care for. At the very least, there are better things to be casting. Light a battle on occasion. On a very rare occasion, but it's a possibility. Don't really need Lord's Counselor. Let's just max out Banishment. There we go, good enough. Alright, and I actually have to auto-resolve you. Like so. Armor of Fortune, yes, but possibly or probably not for you. At least not until you get your Steam Tank. You have to earn such armor. Alright, what do we have here incidentally? Council of Burgomeister, sure, take out the training field, and I guess collect the income for now since it's a green territory. Not 100% how much of this we'll be keeping. Depends on how lazy I get with the remaining admin going into the end of the campaign. Eltharion appears to be chasing Admiral Leech around, which does work just fine for us. I wanted to take Hag Grief as well, because it has a rather nice... thing here. Iron and marble resource production, 96 of each, which is fairly significant considering we are pretty big on trade as a faction. And, what is this? That's an issue because, man. Yeah, but you can't reach him anyway, so if he takes the chill road, then he takes... Oh, wait. Idea. Ashrek. Wait. Just wait. Everybody, nobody panic. Auto-resolve. And sack. And stop moving. Alright, then kill. Okay, we're auto-resolving. This is just a pile of marauders. I mean, these little vassal factions, little Norscan vassal factions have never been particularly useful, so it's hardly surprising. I'll resolve that. And little to no damage, and we will take the pardon captives simply because we're about to land at Ashrek. Well, land. You know what I mean, occupy. There we go, valet, some nice stuff. Good, keep on leveling. Land Admiral Zintler, this frees you to actually take Hag Grief and not sack it. Anyway, it's starting to look like we're going to keep some of these Dark Elven territories. Oh, once again, the landmarks and... Oh! Would you look at that? Pyrrhic victory. Huh. Go figure. Well, so as some of you guys in the comments pointed out, this is likely happening due to the Black Ark support. Well, we may have to actually manually take this. Well, if we do, we do. You can't possibly catch that Black Ark, can you? No, you can't. Then where do we send you? Assuming that Karo will take Clark Karond, and in fact he will, so the assumption is correct. With an auto-resolve. And we don't want to keep Carl here, because he wants fights. And, well, I guess he could go around like this, but he's going down south to the Cult of Pleasure. He's definitely going southward. I'm talking downtown. Anyway, The problem right now is we don't know where their armies are. I mean, other than these two, but there were a lot more, but I guess they probably died fighting the High Elf armies here, because they have reduced in number as well. And hey, Gentleman Jenkins, oh, I didn't realize your army was so bad. No, it's kind of disappointing. It's not even worth fighting. Anyway, I believe... Well, we'll figure out what we do with Carl. I'm still probably going to send him around this way. We also have to figure out who to actually give these territories to, because we can't. It's too much. We'll probably fight the Hag Grief battle next time around, though, as we are rapidly running out of time, and certainly already have had 3 battles of this particular episode. Let's move everybody else around just so that we can set up the next episode. Andreas Meyer, you want to auto-resolve Jenkins? Yeah, it's just not worth fighting. The AI can't use basic Imperial troops to reasonable effectiveness. We will level you, though. That's only 2 points. Well, nonetheless. Rally, and then... Nobody really to benefit from it as yet. I guess Sharpshooter for the Outrider. Interesting that the Outriders are so heavily leveled and Noble Sons Abroad are not, but they, well, they haven't been doing as much damage, let's face it. Declare war. Yes. He's gonna run. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. He actually is gonna run.
Advance on them.
And kill. Alright, now we're definitely going to have to land in our friendly territory. This won't be enough healing. Take the money. And then, in full speed... Hey, another sort of anti-heroes. Perfect. I've been giving these to every single one of our tank lords. And because, well, for obvious reasons. Landed Lothern. This should allow you to heal. Not quite completely, but you can travel through Lothern rather than at sea, and then set sail here, grab this island, and move up north, or even land on Lizardman shores. Well, we get more landmarks. Completely necessary. Anyway, Deconstructor Zintler, you really need to heal, sir. And you won't be able to do so very well here, because it's a red territory. Meaning, we either want to trade it, which we don't, or we want to head out to either Hotek's Column or the Monoliths. Let's go to the Monoliths, you can heal there better. Damn that auto-resolve for hurting the tanks, and you can channel as well while you're here. Yes, you. Okay, so the Writhing Fortress was indeed taken by Boris. Not surprising, we cannot reach the Bleeding Spire, though I guess we'll have to see whether we can reach it next turn. Move to the edge of this. And, oh, there's Tamarkan, but you already have his defeat trait, which is very nice, but, well, we probably won't be needing it again. At least not on you. And Boris von Sighofen, we have to figure out what to do with the, well, Now we're kind of stuck with you, at least right now. We can't move forward, at least we can't move this way because Kugath is there. And what we could potentially do is try to move towards Ruin's End. Very rudely named territory that it is. You know what, let's move out a little bit. We obviously can't face 3 armies with this 1 army. It's not strong enough for that. So move out to Ruin's End and we'll see how Kugath reacts. If he sends 1 army this way, then we'll send this army back. If he doesn't, we'll take Ruin's End, and then I will continue thinking about Pig Barter and its completely necessary landmark. We also have to wrap up the situation here as fast as possible because Grimgor is... strength rank 9, but he is to our north, and he has got plenty of armies out there, and is, by the looks of it, starting to cause havoc all over the Darklands. Though Malekith is moving down here, so he might be able to help us out without us doing everything for him. Anyway, let's see if there's anything else that we've got to do this turn. Once again, I'd like to complete setting up for the completely necessary siege there. Ah, yes, you. You have to keep getting these guys on field. What are we at here? 364 range and 67 missile strength, eh? 364. What's their base? Wait, just out of curiosity. Okay, 364. If we take a look at... let's just... Okay, I know you have some. You're at 325. Okay, so 2 Hawkland scopes are bringing them up to 364. It's not quite artillery range, but it's getting there. Get a few more Hawkland long rifles, and if we could get like 2 more Hawkland scopes in here and a lure that... disciplined. Well, disciplined ain't bad, so we'll probably still take you. If we get a few more Hawkland scopes in here, and a Hawkland scope lord, we should be able to get them between 400 and 500, which is what we want. I want them firing further than cannons, because I'm very curious to see whether this army would actually function or not. And we're still going to get, like, a bunch more engineers in here as well. Anyway, continuing. So far that we can, anyway. And, oh, you know, we haven't checked in a while. Or at least it feels like a while. Middenland, still no, eh? We might have to pay him some money eventually to get him to declare war on somebody if he's actually willing, because he hasn't been willing in the past. Damn it, Todd. What do we have here? Oh, local recruitment duration for steam tanks, luminarchs, and landships. That actually helps with the Emperor's Wrath problem. Well, if we want, we could always replace them. You know what? I think it's time to get Seeker of Knowledge and Scion of the Empire. If Fullheart remains alive, and he does... it's time to actually get vision of him. Honestly, by this point, we could have probably sent this army out there. I mean, we could send it out there right now to help, or we could have just sent a hero down there. But yeah, once again, not super necessary, admittedly. As Wolfheart isn't super critical to this particular campaign, but yeah. Anyway, I think, folks, with that, we're pretty much out of time, or at least out of time enough that I'm going to call it. Next time, we will hopefully knock out as much of Kugath as possible to be able to send these armies in various directions and retrofit Gelt's army with a bunch of craziness and try to get him into some proper fights against the greenskins out there. I want to see how many Luminarchs Grimgor can take to the face, or how many Luminarch shots he can take to the face. Nagaroc is, while still functional, in pretty darn bad shape, having lost Nagaroc, about to lose Hag Grief, and having lost Clark Carond. In fact, they've lost all of the major Nagarothi cities at this point. Every single one, so we could more or less consider their faction to be broken, or at the very least on the back foot. Anyway, there is still more to do here, and it shall be done, so stay tuned for more Elspeth. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. Ooh, hopefully Skyjunks next time. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.